Pause for a few seconds. There's no need to rush through this. If you're watching this video, perhaps you've arrived at the exact moment when something inside you begins to crack. No one can see that crack. There's no sound, no visible sign, but you can feel it. A vague, suffocating sensation, as if you can no longer continue living the way you used to. You still smile, work, and talk to people, but inside, a part of you is slowly breaking apart. You may not know exactly what is happening. You just know that you no longer feel at peace within your life. Everything that once felt familiar now seems distant. Things that once brought joy now feel hollow. And you begin to ask yourself, who am I really living for? Carl Jung once said that at a certain moment in life, the soul begins to refuse to go on living behind masks. And when that happens, we call it the inner crack, the divide between our true selves and the personas we adopt to fit in. It is not a collapse. It is the first calling of the soul, a calling so gentle that we often fail to hear it, but once you do, you can never pretend you didn't know. From here, the journey begins. Not a journey to seek something new, but a journey of returning to yourself, to the deepest, truest part of you that has been forgotten for far too long. There is no sound that warns of an inner collapse. It isn't loud nor dramatic, no tears, no screams. It's just an ordinary morning. You wake up, look into the mirror, and feel empty. You keep living as usual, doing the same work, saying the same words, smile at the right times, nod at the right cues, but inside, something is quietly coming apart. A part of you is trying desperately to hold everything together, while another whispers, I can't keep doing this anymore. This is not weakness, it is a signal of awakening. The moment the soul begins to rebel against the artificial rhythm of life you've learned to endure. Jung once wrote, not everything that collapses is a loss. Occasionally it is the false part falling away so the true part can live. You may feel tired for no reason. Begin to drift away from those once close to you, or lose interest in the things that used to make you happy. But this is not the sign of an ending. It is the necessary breaking that allows you to truly begin living. Most people, when they reach this point, turn away. They try to fix the crack with work, with busyness, with forced laughter. But you haven't. Because if you are here, listening, perhaps your soul has already decided it's time to stop. And when the soul speaks those words, everything outside will begin to change, not to punish you, but to compel you to look deeper within. Since childhood, we've been taught, just be good to others, work diligently, live kindly, and everything will be fine. And we believed it. We learned to live by a formula. Study well, get a job, find love, buy a house, earn a salary. We do everything right. Yet one day, we realize we no longer know why. We were never taught how to listen to ourselves, only how to please others. We weren't encouraged to ask questions. We were told, don't think too much. And so, little by little, we traded inner freedom for outer approval. Carl Jung once warned, adaptation is necessary, but when it demands the sacrifice of one's true selves, it becomes a pathology. The world calls it stability, but in truth, it is a subtle paralysis. We become well-functioning humans, efficient, diligent, responsible. Yet inside, we are empty, cold, and estranged from ourselves. We live in a society that glorifies normality, but forgets that normal does not mean happy. We accept becoming a cog in the machine trade freedom for safety and our soul for temporary peace. Perhaps you're starting to sense it, a strange feeling slipping between the ordinary days, that you are not really living, only existing. It's not that you've gone the wrong way, it's that you've begun to see the real path. And once that vision opens, nothing will ever be the same again. No one wants to suffer, but there are kinds of pain that do not come to punish, they come to speak to us. Have you noticed? Before your life began to crack, there were small signs you ignored. A dream that left you restless, a morning when you didn't want to get out of bed. The conversation suddenly made you feel distant from someone close to you. The soul always speaks first, but when you don't listen, it speaks louder. From a faint unease to exhaustion, from exhaustion to emptiness, the journey continues from emptiness to collapse. Carl Jung once wrote, "What we do not make conscious returns to us as fate, and pain is the way the unconscious tries to awaken consciousness. You discover yourself anxious, sleepless, unmotivated, and drained. But that is not illness. It is the symbolic language of the soul. It is trying to send you a message. The way you're living is no longer right for you." The problem is, society has taught us to fear pain. We are told to think positive, cheer up, and move on. But the more we run from it, the deeper it cuts. Because it doesn't want to be denied. It only wants to be heard. Try to see it differently. Don't treat pain as an enemy, but as a stern teacher. It doesn't want you to suffer more. It wants you to wake up. And when you dare to sit down in silence, not running, not justifying, not filling the space with noise, you will realize something simple. Pain never wanted to destroy you. It only wanted to bring you back to yourself. When your soul begins to awaken, the world around you also changes the way it speaks, not through noise, but through signs. A book suddenly falls open to the exact page you needed to read. A line in a movie echoes as if it was written just for you. A video, like this one, appears at the moment you're about to collapse, and you wonder, why now? Carl Jung called it synchronicity, meaningful coincidence, not magic, not chance. This is the subtle language of the unconscious. When your mind is ready, the unconscious begins using everything around you to send messages, images, symbols, numbers, dreams, memories, and even strangers you accidentally meet. Everything becomes a mirror of your inner world. The outer reality is just the surface. What's truly moving is within you. When your soul wants to grow, it will attract experiences that awaken you, even if they come in the form of loss, breakdown, or loneliness. It isn't the universe granting favors. It's you calling these things forth, because you've become conscious enough to see meaning in what once seemed random. Synchronicity is when the world whispers, "I hear you. I'm reflecting what you need to see." If you are hearing these words, understand that this is not just a video, it is a mirror. A part of you sent out the signal, and another part of you is now receiving it. Nothing is a coincidence. When the soul is ready, the message finds its way. Every time you are about to change, an ancient creature within you awakens. It has no clear form, but you can feel it through fear, a deep, indistinct terror so real it paralyzes you. Jung called it the dragon of transformation. It represents all the resistance of the ego, every voice in your head that says, "Not now. You're not ready. You'll lose everything." They won't understand. That dragon is not your enemy. It is the guardian of transformation. Its purpose is to test you to see if you are truly ready to trade your familiar safety for freedom. The fear you feel does not mean you're on the wrong path. On the contrary, it is the sign that you've reached the true threshold, the place where the old begins to fall apart, the new has yet to take shape, where you no longer belong to the past but have not yet fully grasped the future. It is the most fragile and the most sacred stage. Because only when you dare to step into the dark does the dragon step aside. Jung once wrote, "The meeting with oneself is at first the meeting with one's own darkness. That darkness is not out there. It is the part of you you've long feared to face, your weakness, your pain, your anger, your suppressed desires. To move past the dragon, you don't need to fight. You only need to stop. Look it in the eye and say, 'I'm not running anymore.' In that moment, fear is no longer the barrier. It becomes the guide. And you realize the dragon never guarded the treasure. It is the treasure. This is the hardest moment in the journey of awakening, when you finally realize that no one can save you. Not a teacher, not a lover, not your parents, not a book, not any savior stepping in from the outside. No one can live for you, feel for you, or choose for you. Since childhood, we've been taught to turn to someone whenever we feel weak, someone who understands us, guides us, and helps us escape our suffering. But the truth is, no one can do that. Because real healing never moves from the outside in. It moves the other way, from within you outward into the world. Carl Jung once said, "No one can walk the path of individuation for you. Every journey toward the true self is a solitary one." This may sound harsh, but within that loneliness, something sacred is unfolding. You are reclaiming the sovereignty of your soul. Until now, you have been programmed to wait for someone's approval, to wait for someone to change, to wait for better circumstances, to wait for the right time. But every reason to wait is only a mask for fear. No one will knock on your door and say, "It's time to live authentically." There's no sign more radiant than the voice rising within you right now. "I don't want to live like this anymore." That is the call of freedom. It forces you to choose. Either keep blaming the world or begin taking responsibility for yourself. Responsibility here does not mean guilt, it means power. The power to decide how you live, how you love, how you change. The power to say, "Enough." And when you truly accept that no one is coming to save you, something strange happens. The fear disappears. And in that silence, you hear another voice. Soft, clear, yet steady. "I can save myself." That is the moment your soul begins to mature. At some point, you will find yourself standing before a boundary. Not a physical door, but a delicate threshold, the line between the old life you've grown used to and the true life you've always longed for. On one side lies the familiar, stability, safety, acceptance, and being liked. On the other lies the unknown, loneliness, risk, loss, and freedom. Every soul trembles when it arrives here. No one ever teaches us how to cross. We're only taught how to turn back. Society always advises, don't overthink it. You'll get used to it. Just go back to normal. But normal is what has been hurting you. Normal is where you lost yourself without even realizing it. Carl Jung once wrote, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." We don't awaken by dreaming of light, but by daring to face the darkness. Crossing the threshold of fear doesn't mean you stop being afraid. It means you walk with fear. You carry it trembling, but still moving forward. Because you know that if you don't, you'll remain trapped between two worlds, no longer belonging to the old, but never truly touching the new. Fear doesn't come to stop you. It comes to ensuring that you truly want to change. It is the final gate, and the only way through it is through. You don't need to be ready. No one is ever truly ready for their transformation. You just need to be honest about one thing, that you are too tired of pretending to be okay. And in the moment you admit that truth, something miraculous happens. Fear ceases to be the wall, it becomes the path. And then, when you dare to step through, you realize something simple, something you had never truly understood before. Fear doesn't disappear, but you have changed the way you see it. Once, fear was the barrier. Now, it becomes the doorway. You no longer try to avoid it, but learn to walk through it, to see that the other side of fear is not an abyss, but real life itself. There are no cheers, no bright lights, and no miraculous moments. Just a very ordinary morning. You wake up, look around, and realize nothing has changed, except you. You no longer search for meaning in grand things. You no longer need to prove your worth. You no longer crave to be understood, because you have come to understand yourself. Carl Jung called this psychological rebirth, the moment when the soul stops living to please others and begins to live from the true center of its being. From that moment on, your life does not become perfect, but becomes authentic. You may still do the same job, still walk the same path, but the way you exist within it has transformed. You no longer perform, you live. There is no requirement for proof, no need to be accepted, no need to become someone. You simply are. And strangely, that brings the peace you've been seeking all your life. True freedom doesn't lie in doing great things, but in the ability to live fully within the smallest ones. One can achieve this by slowly sipping a glass of water. You stroll in the sunlight without worrying about the future. Sitting in silence, you feel no urge to fill the space with words. That's when you realize, beyond fear lies not victory, but presence. This presence is quiet, simple, and profound. And within that presence, your soul smiles, because at last, it has come home. There will come a moment of great stillness. No more questions, no more analysis, no more battles between right and wrong. Only silence remains. And within that silence, you understand. Everything that once broke you was part of the journey that brought you here. You've walked through countless roles, countless endings, countless nights of asking who you really are, and now you see. Everything you were searching for was never outside. No one came to save you. Because you are the one you've been waiting for. Awakening does not arrive with thunder. It arrives when you agree to sit in stillness, no longer trying to fix, no longer trying to escape, simply staying with the truth of who you are. That is the moment you begin to cross. Not a grand leap, but a quiet decision. I will no longer live pretending. I choose to cross. Write it down or simply whisper it to yourself. I choose to cross, not for the world, not for anyone else, but for yourself as a sacred vow. Because the instant you acknowledge it, an invisible door opens, not leading to any particular place, but guiding you back to the very center of your soul. From here, the journey is no longer about seeking, but about living truthfully, no longer about chasing, but about understanding, no longer about holding on, but about gently letting go. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. The greatest privilege of being alive is to become yourself." And now, as you have crossed, allow life to unfold naturally, like a river. No need to control, only to trust that every curve, every wave is carrying you exactly where you need to go. Because this journey is not over. It has only just begun.